Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some more Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Today I want to talk about tight end Darnell Washington in his second year with the Steelers. Thought he took a really big jump in his sophomore season. I think people think about that as a receiver. He got involved midway through the year, more in the passing game, but I thought as a blocker is where he made his biggest strides. Let's talk about it. Before we start, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site SteelersDepot.com, would really appreciate that. So I'm going to break this video down into two parts, run blocking and pass blocking. And we're going to first look at the run blocking, go back to week 1 against Atlanta. See Pittsburgh running the Zorro toss. It's become very popular in the NFL, this kind of lead motion toss. We'll see tight end Michael Pruitt coming across here, going to get double team out on the end. And Pruitt has a nice block here, really kind of gets the DN off balance, but we're just seeing Washington be able to widen him initially. So a nice job here to leverage, get under, widen him, create that surface area for Pruitt to now, basically push him in the back, and that takes him, way out of the hole here and sets up a decent run by Harris. Now he ends up recovering, getting back in the play, but that's not the fault really of the tight ends here. I'm just watching Washington get off the ball, be able to leverage, play to his size, to his power, and help create that hole initially for the running back. We see that really well here. A little bit later in this Atlanta game, Washington right here, 2-point stance, this Y off. He's going to motion across. We're going to see him climb up through the hole and take on that defender and block him well. That's the DN, number 15. He's going to pull up through and block here as Jones is able to combo and work to the second level. And so it's a nice job here. Washington didn't really do a lot of pulling last year. It was more inline type of work, a little more athletic this year, even though I think he added some weight. But, hitting a moving target, being able to stick and drive and leverage is really on display on this rep. Not easy to do on this defensive end, not even like an off-ball linebacker or a safety, somebody that's going to be down there in the trenches. You see Washington be able to really stick, drive, leverage most of the way through. We'll take a look at it from the other end zone view, see what that looks like, and see him be able to, adjust, redirect as at the end, spikes inside. You're never quite sure which direction he's going to go, and then really get into him, control that block most of the way through. Good rep here from Darnell Washington. Let's move to week 8 against the New York Giants, and I thought this was Washington's best blocking performance of the year in pass pro. In the run game, we're going to get a good clip here, him next to Broderick Jones, be able to reach, turn this D end inside, and then finish putting him on the ground. In this one, it's hard to show what I think my main takeaway from Washington as a blocker is, but his snap timing, his burst, and getting off the ball on the snap was so much better his second year. His first year, he was slower, he's a tick late, and despite having the size and the length and the strength, if you're late off the ball, if you're the second guy to move, it's going to be tough to win at the point of attack at the NFL level. I just think consistently throughout his sophomore season, Washington was just a lot quicker off the ball, and that's really important here to be able to reach, get outside shade on this D end here, get some help from Pruitt as well as he climbs, but then you really see Washington take control and finish this block in the back legs of McCormick. That kind of helps put the D end in the ground, but I just look at the snap timing, and it's hard to really quantify. There's no metric for it, obviously, as I try to find the other end zone angle for this. But I just think that's really on display on some of these reach blocks we're going to look at, and really all the inline blocking that Washington does throughout this video. But to reach, get his head across, turn his hips inside, control that block, it's really well done. Another example from this Giants game, this time Washington aligned next to left tackle Dan Moore. Going to watch him climb to the second level and stick and drive. And that's hard to do. Hit a moving target, be able to stick with him and control that block all the way. His grip strength, ability to really lock in is on display, and that's technique, that's hand placement, and just good lower body drive to keep your base, keep your hips underneath you so you're not doubling over and losing the block. And so just a really good job here by Washington to control this one the whole way through. Go back, look at it from the other end zone view, initially helping out here on this 5 tech with Dan Moore. Little chip, make sure that's secured as Moore gets his hips around and then Washington climbing here to that linebacker, making contact, driving those legs, sticking the whole way through. Good rep. Another sneaky good example of Washington snap timing that may not be super evident on tape. This is not a pancake block that buries somebody into the ground like Washington is capable of. It's just really strong backside support here on this zone run away. We're going to see Najee Harris take the handoff, and we're going to see Washington cut off the backside linebacker D-end on this play. Ultimately not a huge run, but it's just really solid. These backside blocks on zone runs are really key to not allow these backside defenders to crash down and take away some of those cutback lanes for the running back. Or if he finds a lane, starts getting vertical and presses the hole and then gets tackled for a 3-yard gain when it could have been a 30-yard gain if he's able to get through that second level. So I'll play it back through, watching Washington get his head across here and then be able to rip through. It's just really good technique. It's a little hard to see, but watch the outside hand, the left hand, left arm, or Darnell Washington be able to rip through and clear number 53 on this play. Right here, you're going to see him take that hand. You see the white glove a little bit. There it is, ripping through to secure that block. Other issues on the play, unfortunately, but we're not focused on that. Focused on Darnell Washington with really good technique, good snap timing, getting his head across, ripping through, and securing that block. And let's watch Zach Frazier go after Marlon Humphrey, and this is the Week 11 game where it got really, really intense in the first half. But watching Washington, impressive stuff. Let's now look at Washington in pass pro, and this is something Pittsburgh really focused on with Washington in year 2 and really in year 1 under Arthur Smith. Going back to training camp, there was a lot of emphasis with tight ends coach Alfredo Roberts, and even there was one moment with Broderick Jones post-practice where they were working on pass sets, and Washington pass blocked a whole lot more his second year than his first year. We're going to see, as you've already seen in week 1, him take Matthew Judon one-on-one. Really good, decorated pass rusher the Falcons had traded for, and you see Washington just anchor and stone him in pass protection. Really good rep. You see Jaylen Warren coming over, the way the protection is set, trying to give some help. It's a full slide here. Warren, no blitz threat. Oh, I'll help you, Darnell. And he just watches it like, oh, Darnell Washington has this block locked up. I'll just watch it. That's okay, Darnell. You can handle it. But yeah, really good stuff here from Darnell. You see that big wide base. You see the cross chop initially. He likes that move. It misses, but he's still able to recover. It doesn't ruin his pass protection here. And to really just put those feet in the ground, anchor right there, leverage, good hand placement. It's a nice job by Washington. Let's look at the other view. Again, you see the chop, not able to knock that arm down. He's trying to on the long arm, misses, but then able to repunch, stay in the fight. And then again, that lower body strength there, almost a hop step to kind of give some ground. That's totally fine. And just win that battle. It's an A+ rep. Last time we saw this chop, and its verbiage varies, snatch and trap, chop, whatever you want to call it. But we see it here on display of how it looks when it works. Darnell Washington right here. See him knock down the arms of that defensive end, get him off balanced, and win the rep. And so it's a really good example. See if we can find the other end zone view, which one it's hiding at. See him right here. There's Darnell on this defensive end, and using two hands this time, this two-hand kind of swipe to knock down those arms. Right here of 96, you see him lose his balance, go forward, and at that point, you basically won the block, get some help from Connor Hayward as well. But taking a look at it one more time, it's a nice job here. It's good strike, it's good timing, good power in those hands, looking like an offensive tackle. Look, see the Giants' arms? I mean, his arms are now on the ground. He's falling forward. This battle's over, blocking like a tackle, but he's a tight end. Finally, one last example, like to mix up the game selection to show it's not just one or two games. It's on display. Here it is, Chargers game in week number 3. One-on-one versus Khalil Mack around the edge, and it may not be a perfect rep, but I think a pretty good rep overall when you're facing a guy like Mack, riding him up the arc. Actually, you know what? I'll take that back. It's a really good rep by Darnell Washington. He's able to steer Mack upfield on this rip move. It's not holding. There's a carve-out in the rules, so it's not going to get called for holding there, but we're watching Washington work Mack up the arc like an offensive tackle. And actually, the end zone view or the aerial view is a pretty good gauge of that too, of how wide and how upfield Mac gets here. I mean, there's the pocket for Fields. This is where Mac is at. Nice job by Dan Moore too. He's at the 20. Fields is at the 24-yard line. And so you want to talk about keeping your pocket clean for your quarterback. That is Darnell Washington doing it. Offensive line coach Pat Meyer always describes the offensive line as a bowl shape. So you kind of think about, how it should look, how an NFL pocket should look. It should kind of be like this. I should have paint up or something for you guys to see. But he says basically the tackles and really the tight ends are responsible for the width of the pocket, keeping the pocket wide, while the interior offensive line, the center and the guards, are responsible for the depth of the pocket, making sure it doesn't get collapsed and, defensive linemen aren't in the quarterback's lap. And so you see Washington really preserve the width of the pocket here by being able to carry Mac up the arc. Again, getting help from Warren, but Washington really had this rep handled on his own. So you see the pass pro really coming along in year 2. So that was impressive for Washington. I know he was arguably underutilized in the pass game, especially late in the year. It's easy to talk about that, but I just want to focus on the good things with Washington in this video for the sake of it. And his blocking really took a different step. In year 1, there were flashes. On down blocks, he was excellent because he could use his size, his strength to kind of just wash linemen down. I thought in year 2 became a more complete blocker in the run game, in the pass game, in some of these base blocks where it's more head up, where it's less about angles and just kind of washing somebody down. He still did that well, but being able to block different angles and different assignments, pulling, as we saw in that one clip in the pass pro, really improved. Technically, he just took a big jump. In year 1, he was kind of playing off his size profile. In year 2, he played off his technique. And in addition to his size, makes him a top-notch blocker needed in this Arthur Smith system. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. And check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Got a bunch of combine information for you guys who are draft nerds like us. We're going to have 3 people in Indy for the combine, interviewing prospects, talking to Omar Khan, and of course, getting you ready for free agency all at the same time. So, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.